generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. 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 You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now. Casting on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me. Hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. Can make me move. Can make me can make
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Mountain Mayhem. We are kicking off week 4 with a matchup of LLE versus Pandas QT. I'm joined, as usual, with my lovely co-caster, Rhodes. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing not so bad, a bit tired, but besides that, we have a very interesting matchup for a team that you and I have yet to see in this tournament, the very last team we've yet to see, which is Long Lost. So I'm really interested to see how they do today. They're 1-2 in the standings, and they're going to be versing Pandas Cutie, has Foolmonger and Rushmonger back. Definitely going to be a different look compared to last week, but I'm really excited to see what we have on our hands here as our first map is Haven.
Yeah, definitely. I'm interested to see what Long Lost have to show us. Like you said, we have not gotten the chance to watch them quite yet, and they've had a bit of a rough start here. They're currently 1-2, but I'm actually not fully sure on which teams that they've been going up against, so I'm not sure where quite that record stacks up.
Yeah, I'll have to do a bit of research on it in general in just a few moments, but either way, we'll definitely see how Haven does go, and it does look like Long Lost does decide to go with the Neon route, which we have seen to various success throughout this term. We have seen it from Fossey and Boba and a few others, so I'm really interested to see how this does come through, but I do also have to mention, since it's what you and Static always like to talk about, it's Astra time, baby.
Yeah, man. I was gonna bring that up. It's got actually three boxes checked for me. It's got the Astra, the Neon, and the Cypher. I mean, my some of my preferred characters in most of those roles, you know. So I'm excited. I'm liking this lineup. What stands out to me though is Pandas running the fade here on Crispy. I want to say we've seen them do this before. So it does seem like a set strat that they like to run. They really prefer having the fade on this map.
I think Crispy is just addicted to Fade at this point. I think I don't remember not seeing Crispy with Fade, because it has just been played almost every time, as it looks like
Oh,
we are going to have a DC right away, so it's going to be a pause and some waffling can ensue.
all right. I mean, at this point, it's kind of becoming the norm, you know? Like, we get a quick little P10 before we start the game. Me and you get to waffle about, you know. Thanks for
Always at the start.
joining. Thank you for joining the Roads and Al podcast. Today, we're talking about... Rhodes, what was the subject for today?
Subway Eat Fresh?
Oh,
No?
okay, I
Shit?
guess,
Okay.
dude. Okay. Let's go with it. Let's roll with it. Subway. All right. Dude, they're expensive now. I'm gonna be honest. I used to like go to Subway fairly often. They ain't cheap anymore. You know.
It's definitely, I mean, just the amount of money everything has gone up in general. It's kind of gross at this point.
I mean, even beyond that, I feel like Subway, even beyond that, is an outlier. It's like $15 for like a foot long, and they're not even like compared to like. Okay, so like I don't know if you live in Canada, so I don't know if you guys have this up there, but like a nice Jersey Mike's sub.
I do not.
You know, yeah, Jersey Mike's like I don't know, they've just got really good ingredients and it's pretty good subs. They also do a lot of like hot subs, like they got a grill there that they cook everything up on. It's great. I love Jersey Mike's.
I'm very basic with my subs. I just kind of like a meatball marinara. That's about it.
Dude, that's totally fair, you know, like you know, it's a sub.
Simple, easy, yummy.
I mean, I never, you know, okay, so like hot take, when people are like, I don't really like sub sandwiches, I'm kind of confused because it's like often like you sort of construct the sandwich yourself, you know? It's like, what's going on there? Do you just not know what you like?
It is kind of a thing where I think they just don't like Subway as like a name brand in general, I guess.
No, like I'll bring up like sub sandwiches in general though, like, you know, I'm a sucker for a good sub sandwich. Well, today I did have I had Chinese today. I had some shrimp lo mein. It was good.
I didn't have anything interesting, I'll be honest.
No segues for Chinese food. What'd you eat today?
I had chicken strips and wedges.
Dude, that doesn't sound too bad, actually. I
Yeah.
have that. I have that at work a decent amount.
Right
It's
there.
like we'll have it
Yeah.
at work.
Right
You just
there.
buy it from the grocery
Right
store,
there.
and pretty
Yeah.
easy, simple. They said they're giving us a large wedge because they didn't have macaroni and cheese, and then there's only like half the box full of wedges, so they kind of just lied to us.
Yeah, they
Just
gave you
around.
like a medium. Yeah. That's
Yeah, they gave us like a medium and a big box. I was like, okay, thanks. Wow, crazy.
Even the players are getting a little bit impatient in chat anyway as well. I wonder if we're gonna have to eventually just like put a black bar over the chat if it gets too weird.
I don't really know what to segue into at this point. We could take a little bit of a we could take a little bit of a peek into the standings right now, which could potentially be interesting if I just pull that up.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, we probably should talk about, you know, like the game and the league and the stuff like that, not what we eat, you know. Probably what people are interested in.
I thought they'd be more interested in what we eat, to be honest. You never know.
Yeah, you know, like get to know your casters. Get to know Alan Rhodes. The voices behind the mic or the faces behind. I don't know. I did not segue that well.
I cannot I'm either blind, or blind, because I cannot find.
I think you might be blind.
I think I'm blind.
Okay.
Oh, there it is.
I need to get my prescription updated for my glasses.
All right, so right now in the standings, we have Nexus and Podgies, both 3-0 right now.
Okay.
I don't think we've watched Nexus in quite a while, at least. Yeah, we haven't watched
I want to
Nexus in
say
a
our
while, I
first.
think.
I think the first time we casted it was Nexus, but beyond that, I want to say, because I do believe we've casted them.
Yeah, but I just hasn't been in there.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Then in
And
the
we've had a couple of Podgies games. They're looking good, man.
Podgies are
Looking
just looking really, really nice. Like Cool Guru, Rivolution, like
Yeah, some household names right there.
they are looking phenomenal. I'm really excited to see some more matches from them.
Mhm.
In the unfortunate 0-3 position, we have Feeling Faded and Team Pantheon.
Yep. Do we know when playoffs is supposed to be? Do we have like a date for that at this point?
I mean,
I'm gonna message Giga. You know what? We're gonna get a live on stream Giga interrogation.
there's a schedule thing said. Oh, never mind. Playoff weekend is maybe November 2nd to 3rd, and maybe 4th.
Goes here.
From the schedule thing in the Discord server, which
I'm sending him a message to see if we can get like an actual date.
Feeling Faded.
Never mind, we're getting into the match. Okay.
Alright, quick thing before we do start. Feeling Faded and Pantheon are actually versing each other this week, so there's only going to be one team without a win after this week, which will be
That's
interesting.
gonna be a fun match. Do we?
Yeah.
Are we available to stream that game? That'd be a fun one to stream.
It's on Friday, so we'll see.
Oh, I'll be available.
Anyway,
All right.
here we go.
And
Lost
you know
Ball
what?
Esports.
You know what else? You know what other game is getting streamed? PANDASQTS versus LLE as we're now hopping into this pistol round. Ionic is looking to set them up well for this long take. It's gonna be the Cypher under a lot of pressure here. Dezo is now gonna have to try and dodge all this utility coming through, and they will do so successfully and be able to claim the life of the Riddle, but not before the rest of the attackers start to crunch in on the site, as it's only the Breach left standing who will eventually fall. But coming through Garage is gonna be the Sova. He's gonna manage to claim 2 lives here. It's all left up to Foolmonger in the 1v2. Back of Long has time to play with, but as they're spotted, slowly pushing up this position, that information will be relayed. It's gonna all come down to the trade game. LLE running away with the pistol.
You're gonna make me try and start sounding out these names first, since we didn't actually talk about it.
You know exactly what I was doing. It's probably what we should have spent our time waffling about. I probably should have spent it looking at the names.
Kharkiv, they're actually able to, I'm just gonna say Kharkiv for now, was able to actually just stay alive on site for a long time, which caused a lot of distraction for Kwasi to actually come through that garage position, able to find 2 picks, and then obviously could not survive in the end. Saint will pick up the final kill. And Long Lost starting off the game strong. We'll definitely see if they can hold, as they're going to be pushing at mid really hard here.
Yeah, it's gonna be a solid start, and they're looking to convert this second round as well, which has been a struggle for some teams, but they're proving to pass this test with flying colors. Long Lost will only lose a single player in the process of picking up their second round.
Yeah, Kingston really wanted to find those picks. They're just a bit over eager, but either way, Dezo, Kharkiv, able to find those picks. Didn't give up the Guardian, which could have potentially been a bit bad, because when you jump out of that garage position window, it can definitely be a bit worrying if you get like double headshot by the Classic, but was able to find the kill. Nothing to worry about. They kept their guns, and they're probably feeling not bad going into this, where there's 3 half armors now. This could be really good for Saint if they're able to find a nice shot.
That's exactly what I was about to highlight. This outlaw rather could do a lot of work. It's going to reveal its position though, as they take out that prowler, and now it's going to surely be a bit more of a cautious approach for the rest of Pandas. as they're looking to scale up this A site. However, if we turn our focus towards mid, Foolmonger has gained a lot of space here, but it's going to come down to the timing. Will Kingston be able to spot it out? Yes, and will pick up the kill. Beautiful shots from the Astra to secure a man advantage in this round. The rifle will be denied by Ionic. They're going to go back towards posturing on this A site.
Yeah, and now they need to figure out what they're going to do, as it does feel like they want to rotate off of the bomb is staying there, so maybe just trying to get some loudness going, maybe try and move the gun. We'll definitely find out, as it will actually move all the players. Their gambit does pay off for Crispy.
A beautifully executed mid-round there. They bait out these defenders from leaving. Now, Saint does have a sinking suspicion that something is going on here, and their intuition is correct, as that plant's going to go down towards the A site. Saint is just going to play it passive. Doesn't want to overindulge in the aggression, and Ionic takes up the mantle of the Cypher as this late mid activation. Dizo soft on the clear, doesn't fully think it out, and will be caught out as Dizo goes down. That's going to prompt the rest of Long Lost to rush forward, but they're going right into these crossfires and can't even break the front lines.
I mean, Rushmonger and Crispy just stayed on that A's site, short side, or sewer, didn't move, and then the rest of the team just made a lot of noise. Ionic definitely was the player that was able to push them across. Of course, that was an eco, but they took almost no damage. It was only Foolmonger going down, I believe. So very nicely done from the side of PANDASQTS. We'll have to see what they do decide to do now, as now they have to be very careful of this A site, because there is an operator for Saint looking to run them down.
Yeah, definitely, and taking out 3 players is going to feel good for your bonus. You keep the economy of Pandas on a knife edge, and Foolmonger can't even afford a full gun. This op is going to ring out early. Saint is really leaning into these snipers, and thus far, in the rifle round, it pays off. It's going to be Ionic. Debatably, the strongest set of utility is now out of the round.
Yeah, it definitely does hurt, but you still have that fade, at least, since you are running that double initiator. I mean, everyone runs a double initiator, but you're running the fade instead of the usual Sova. As Quasi finds Foolmonger, that is a 3v5 now, and this makes it even harder for PANDASQTS to actually penetrate these sites, because with all this util towards the C side, there's only B, but that can be collapsed on so well when you have 5 players up.
Yeah, definitely. This means that the defenders can really just dig in their heels. They don't have to aggress at this point and risk their lives, but Kwasi's still going to favor the gunfights, manages to one-up V-Riddle in the process. So now these defenders are in a great position to convert their third, unless some absolutely ludicrous fumble comes through.
That was timing at its finest there for V-Riddle. Just was peeking at the right time and then looked away for a second, and then Kwasi goes. It is so unfortunate, but this round looks like it is going to be a full save. They're just going to sit back. I mean, Crispy could potentially go down if they do decide to push out, but it looks like they're just going to play smart. 5 players stay alive for LLE, and I mean, that is absolutely perfect if you want to get a good start to this game. You're up 3-1. You have economy now that can last, so you need to be very careful if you are on the side of PANDASQTS. You will get another gun buy here, but your economy can definitely take a huge blast if they play this round well.
Yeah, and it's a very sketchy buy as well. They're barely able to get those rifles up, and multiple players on light armor as well. I think some utility potentially even had to be forfeited as well, so this is looking a little bit rough for Pandas, especially on a map like Haven, where we've seen them do work before. Saint, once again, is going to have a good read on the approach for these attackers, but the shot won't quite land at this time. Ionic is looking to send it up quickly here, sending in a lot of utility towards that stage position, but Kingston is there to stand strong. Saint in support. Crispy manages to crush from Garage alongside the Rushmonger, but it's all gonna fall to the Omen in a 1v4, made 1v2 by some nice shots. Doesn't have the spike, but does have from the shadows, can recover at any point that they need to, and it's all about the timing game at this point. As Rushmonger makes it up mid, is actually gonna get the favorable timing here on Dezo, and with that audio cue as well, now has an idea for how to work this clutch. could go anywhere with this. And looks like they're going to recover the spike here and try and make their way towards the B site. They're going to think better of it, though.
It doesn't look like they're considering that the From the Shadows is up, so they're just going to kind of just sit on the spike, play their time, and I mean,
Can you block
Reshmonger
this with
is
two
kind of
players?
playing into it here.
Yeah, Reshmonger is peeking into this, but I don't think you can block that with just 2 players. We're going to have to wait and
We'll
see
find
here.
out.
Yeah,
Has to be
definitely.
perfect, though.
Especially with Dezo, it keeps playing off of it. And if you're going to try and go for that strategy, you have to commit to it. And Reshmonger has played this beautifully. They think it's going down on A, but it's going down to C instead. This is a beautifully orchestrated plan. As now the retake is going to be coming in through Garage. Reshmonger's trying to get ahead of it, though. Playing inside of the smoke on CT. If they choose to push forward on this, they could blindside these players. That smoke will fade. They do make their way towards CT, and he peeks right into the double stack. So Reshmonger not able to pull out a round that was desperately needed for Pandas.
You could see the idea there, but I think Reshmonger gave a bit too many angles for them to die off of, so it was pretty easy overall for Saint and Dezo to find that pick. Saint's actually able to recover the off as well. So realistically, that round, they absolutely just won it really hard, because now it's going to force potentially an eco. You never know with PANDASQTS. We've seen a lot of forces whenever they're in their games. It does look like Crispy is going to be buying a hero rifle for now, at least. Either way, LLE able to find those picks. Reshmonger went for the hero play. It wasn't enough, and definitely not what you want to start off this map for the side of PANDASQTS, but it's not their map, to be fair. But either way, we'll definitely see what else we have in store, as it does look like they want to head up mid, and you have to look at Crispy here to maybe find some guns for the rest of your team as they push Garage.
Yeah, Kawasi is going to be the first contact here and is going to manage to once again beat out V-Riddle, who has struggled to find their footing inside of this map, currently 0-6. And a lot of that is thanks to this Sova, who will be dealt with by Ionic. A great aftershock to catch the Sova in their drone. Now it's all going to come down to this B execute with a Rolling Thunder to boot as well. It seems like this round is being seriously considered by Pandas, and they're going to invest a lot. 2 ultimates have gone through at this point, so if you walk away not winning this round, it feels like a net loss more than anything, as you've already invested so much and you're losing your fights on the front as well. 2 players go down and it's all left up to these backside players who can't get anything, and that is a disaster for Pandas.
I'm struggling to say anything positive about that round here for PANDASQTS. You invest so much onto an eco round on a 4-on-4, and you find 0 players besides the one that you got on Quasi from an Aftershock. That is absolute detriment here to the team, as that just really hurts the rest of their rounds. They could have that further gun round now. Gal's going to call a timeout, and I don't blame them. That is 2 ultimates that are so useful, especially on these 3-site maps. And now that they're gone, this is in such a good favor now for LLE. They have 5 ultimates up to use. They have just so much utility and economy now. I don't know how the side of this PANDASQTS team can actually get back in this, because LLE, they're just looking so cleanly. Their kills are so even across the board. I don't really have anything bad to say about them so far.
I will say this, PANDASQTS does feel like a bit of a volatile team, and we've seen them struggle before in ramping up to a series. It takes them a little bit of time to get their footing, so perhaps that is just what we're seeing. This is far from the first time we've seen a very flat-footed picture from Pandas, so I'm not counting them out quite yet, but 5-1 on your or 1-5 rather on your attacking side on Haven is not boding well for the confidence.
Yeah, I really will have to see a Podges-like performance here, because they're a team that can do it. I assume Pandas can as well. Of course, they have their main roster back, so definitely could be some chinks in the armor. Maybe have to warm back up, but we'll definitely find out, as Saint with this op again, going to look for more.
Yeah, but is going to manage to dodge that haunt, so position might not be anticipated here. It does look like they're considering it, but no. Asleep at the wheel is Crispy, and so now Saint is going to claim yet another victim here. It's just going to repost towards the back of site here to deny any entry into the site. Is Like I said, just feeling so flat-footed here from Pandas.
Yeah, this look like they will get rotated off, so Pandas actually could potentially get this ace site if they're able to resmoke with Rushmonger. But it is so hard to actually take it because there's so many good retaking utility from the side of LLE, and we'll definitely see what Fullmonger can do here with some potential baiting, because it could definitely help them out a bit more, taking the site cleanly. But you have to be very careful of Saint with this op.
It wants to investigate towards Garage here, which means they're once again going to be faced with Kuwasi, who has been very sharp so far, but will manage to catch Kuwasi a little bit unaware, as it seems. I would have figured that they would have been spotted, but able to get away with that kill, managing to give their team a bit of a footing in this round as they set their sights towards A. The spike has been dropped, and it's left in a 2v4 here. As that Rolling Thunder goes through, the overdrive will be popped. They're low on time as well. It's just feeling like it's running out of time here. You have to get on that site and start to get that plant down. You just have to rely on the coverage from your teammate, and V-Riddle will instead choose to try and swing wide and will surrender any chance in this round.
Another round going the way of LLE. Rushmonger will find a few more. Actually playing quite a decent game so far. Will actually hurt a lot of the economy of LLE, but with some of the members being maxed right now, it does feel like it's a bit... The chinks aren't as
Screaming
much
into
as
the
you'd
void.
like. Yeah.
This does feel like you're screaming into the void, you know? It's just... Yeah, you're causing a little bit of damage. They have to rebuy an op, but
Oh no.
it's just so much money on their side.
And Saint is peeking it once again too, just calling every single shot. If they get picked off again, it is just so tragic here for them.
Yeah, looks like they're not really going to be actively considering this. Come on. I mean, Pandas needs to be anticipating this. It's been almost every round that Saint's been going for an aggressive stance. I do like that they've been turning up the aggression here, because that means that they can close that gap on the op. They know that Saint has been rotating back towards heaven, but for some reason they just don't really consider it. Fullmonger is rushing up towards the long position, and Saint is just going to continue to collect kill after kill. It's all left up to Crispy and Ionic. And it's just left onto the shoulders of Ionic as everything crumbles around them. Tries to win out another fight at long here, but it's not even going to get that.
They just get outnumbered once again. They just aren't, like you said before, they're not really valuing what Saint is doing around the map. Able to find that pick once again, and that was on Rushmonger that time. The smokes are gone, so that's even harder for them to take these sites, especially with this Omen that you really need to stay alive. I know Rushmonger has had quite a bit of rounds, but when your smokes go down, especially on Haven, it's definitely a huge detriment to the round, and Saint finding 3 there hurts so much as their economy, like we've mentioned before, is looking so good. We'll have to see what PANDASQTS decide to do. It looks like they're going mid, and Kuwasi will spot out a few members too, so we'll definitely see what does end up happening on this round.
Yeah, Kuwasi gets an early idea for where this push is coming in, and Saint once again dodges this. Okay, Crispy, we need to talk. We need to have a conversation. You need to lock it in, because you keep walking into this op and it's a problem, all right?
I need to see something here from V-Riddle. Has that Blade Storm pop, but
no.
this operator misses.
Oh, it doesn't hit the shot. Does manage to get away despite some blunders with the movement. Won't be punished for their over aggression, and Fullmonger is looking to try and get something on A here. Ops back in heaven. I don't know. I feel like Pandas need to explore another option here. They keep going towards A, and it's just not working.
There's only one site in this map, and that's A, unless V-Riddle can potentially find Kuwasi here, but we'll get spotted out by the dart. Everything that Pandas are trying to do in this game is just being countered. Every single time they try and go somewhere else, they just say no, and once again, they're going to be rotating over. They might potentially hear it. This round could actually be all on Kuwasi to stay alive here.
It definitely is going to be tested here, but it's just going to fall back. Once they go back towards their teammate in the protective arms of the C site, this is going to be only 10 seconds to get this plant down. A great position for Kuwasi, who just completely executes any chance in this round. And once again, it is a flat-footed assault from the side of Pandas. We need to see some kind of adaptation. And I would like to say, let me not take away from Long Lost here. They are getting really great reads, but it's not difficult reads. We've seen pretty much the same thing out of Pandas QT. Even on their lurks, they're taking the same timings. They're not adding a lot of variation to it. It's just...
I mean, it does look like LLE has kind of just seen what Pandas QT has been doing and kind of has just kind of learned. I mean, we've seen we've seen Pandas QT keep going for these lurky plays, trying to bait them out, but as we've seen, they just stop falling for it. They start playing smarter, and with all these picks that keep going in the favor of LLE, you gotta think, if you're Pandas QT, we need to do the same. We need to figure out where this op is. Check. Now you have to try and play off it. The one time you want to go A, there's actually no one there, but all your utility or your fade utility to spot out these players that are potentially on A is over towards B and mid. So it's definitely not the cleanest way you can do this, as Kingston could find a huge timing here. This could be tragic.
Yeah, Kingston is just going to catch Fullmonger out there. We're not expecting this position at all, and will double up as well. Crispy will trade one back, but could be Kingston getting the triple. Instead, it's going to be Crispy to equalize things, finally turning their play around a little bit. And VRiddle managed to get an op kill of their own, trying to flip the script here on LLE inside of this 10th round. They're going to find themselves in a favorable post plant for the first time in what feels like ages.
And that all happened because VRiddle found their first kill of the map. Thank God. Finally getting something. Apparently. Ascent does pick up a rifle too, so this will be helpful.
And a good setup on the post plant as well. Ionic in the hell position here is going to pretty much eliminate any chance at a retake here as the time is running low. Saint will try and dash in and will manage to take out a kill, which is a lot more valuable than the other way around here, because the economy is still paper thin for Pandas.
Only 2 rounds left, and they just need something. Of course, they can't call any more timeouts in this half, so they just need to try and survive at this point. Because something we also haven't really mentioned much is that the ultimates haven't really been used for LLE. They've been kind of chilling. We have seen 2 Rolling Thunders and a Overdrive, but besides that, we haven't really seen many ultimates needed to be used for them. So I'm really interested to see if we start seeing them maybe play a bit smarter in these rounds to actually be able to use them instead of falling behind, because that round they were able to find a 5v3 advantage, but kind of just throw it away.
Crispy once again going down to the up. Both the initiators go down. They're just dry swinging into Sane. This is not what we're used to seeing from Pandas, but I'm just gonna say it's disappointing. This is far below the level that we've seen them play in, and with any iteration of their roster.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a Nightfall and a Rolling Thunder gun. I'm not sure if they're an orb off or not, but either way, tragic.
Yeah, Kingston once again in this forward position, tucked into the mid cubby, is going to try to get out, but will fail to do so. And VRiddle gets one as well. So this op is paying for itself right now, as it's given them a foothold inside of these rounds. Gonna come down to the 2v3. The Monger duo is gonna have to do it alone. They're looking to try and convert at least a 3rd round here. Rushmonger gets caught out though on a teleport, and everything falls to Foolmonger, who can't even take over the first player. I don't even know what to say anymore. I don't know. I mean, I'm running out of ways to gas up Long Lost here.
Like, here's the thing from Long Lost. 2 rounds in a row, they had a 5-on-3 advantage, and then they kind of threw it away, but this time instead, Kwasi actually able to find the last 3, which was really useful, able to find those kills, but Rushmonger and Fullmonger definitely not really on the same page. It did look like wanted to get up on stage, but the positions definitely weren't the best, especially on C's, so I definitely want to see some more teamwork when we go onto their defensive side, but either way, when you're on defense winning 9-2 on Haven, it's kind of a kick in the face. There's not really much you can do. It's really just a GG go next. Of course, you can't call a game before it's over, but the fact that this is probably one of the most attacker-sided maps in the game, at least for the most part, is that it's definitely a bit of a kick in the face. There's not really much else to say, but we'll definitely see how they do decide to play the rest of the map because anything can happen in a series.
Also, the way they've been losing these rounds, it hasn't been close. It's not been tight rounds at all. It's been constant oversights. Once again, they're just not expecting Saint to be aggressing long like they've done multiple times. And so now they find themselves in another 4v5, this time with no smokes. They are going to send through the Rolling Thunder to try and force their way onto this site. But it's even a passive, it's not even a take onto the site. It's all a fake to go towards mid.
Face your
I don't like committing the Rolling Thunder for a fake. I just don't. And Doolittle goes to, oh no, I can feel this call falling apart.
It's
doable. It feels like this round's gonna fall apart here. Saint with the overdrive popped and a neural theft to boot. It's gonna give them the information to just go through and collect these kills. And exactly as I was saying, I did not have a good feeling about this. As Saint looks to collect the ace here, Ionic is the last player to attempt to stop it and won't do so. It's gonna be the ace out of Saint.
Saint showing that can also use the overdrive, not just the op in this game. 19-4-1 on this Neon, and I mean, it's just showing exactly why you play Neon on this map. It's showing exactly why this is LLE's map. Just absolute beautiful, and you know this map is not going good for a team is when Alderia is the one that's like, hey, this is not looking good. There's not much to say about it. It is...
I'm a chronic believer, and even I feel like this is a lost cause right now. I will gas up every team to my dying breath because I just want to see crazy stuff happening. But not to take anything away from Saint there, but even that ace, there was multiple times where they were just running past a member of PANDASQTS and they missed multiple shots on Saint. It just... everything is just going as poorly as it can for Pandas, and I mean, obviously Long Lost will take that to the bank every day.
I mean, there is a chance now here to win this pistol though, which is a huge opportunity here for PANDASQTS as they were able to take down Kingston. Riddle very quiet in this game on this jet, definitely has been a duelist diff at least thus far, so we'll have to see what LLE does decide to do here, but it does look like they want to go for some ones, but I don't think they're expecting Ionic.
Seems like we're trading positions this cast, Rhodes, because you seem to be giving it more thought than I am. I still have a bad feeling even about this round because none other than Saint is still alive. And as Ionic goes down inside of Garage, Saint is going to be teed up for a great flank. It is checked by Reshmonger. And it's going to be up to this Monger duo to shut that down. A beautiful shot from Fool to take out Saint. We find ourselves in a 2v4 post-plant, make that 1v4. Everything falls onto Kuasi. We cannot... I said Kuasi, not Kuasi.
Kalusi?
Kalusi, yeah. Kuasi can't do anything there. Okay, so pistol round win here.
Foolmonger gets some kills on the board, you know. We got Vamos from Gal, you know. Definitely wishing they were playing to win this game for them, but either way, I mean, Foolmonger has had, I guess, the Mongers in general have had kind of a quiet start to this tournament. I think they still need to get settled in a bit. We have seen some good things out of Reshmonger. Some positioning errors, I think, is...
I was going to say, Reshmonger's looked pretty good. Foolmonger has definitely, I feel like, struggled to find their footing, but... honestly, I feel like Reshmonger has been one of the more consistent pieces of Pandas.
I mean, at least this game in general too, right? I mean,
yeah, one of the few players putting up some, well, almost even numbers.
You know, as close as you're gonna get it at the moment, as it does look like LLE are gonna opt for this mid, so Reshmonger needs to be very careful. Ooh, gonna get chunked, but stays alive. They stay alive.
It does take a lot of damage though, which means that they're gonna have to play this round a lot more passively in fear of losing themselves to the curse.
Nah, I don't know what you mean. There's no such thing as a curse. We'll definitely see what they do decide to do here. We still have Foolmonger, which, I mean, I've tried to gas them up. We'll definitely see how the Mongers are going to work together on this C site. And I think Reshmonger can actually clean a lot up here. I think there's going to be a lot of distraction going on with the Cypher if they do decide to push C. So I'm really interested to see how it does work out.
No, Crispy, no. Oh no. Crispy. Oh.
They actually are going to rotate over too, so this is going to be a B site hit. Ionic is there, could potentially find a lot of picks with the Sheriff.
Oh no! Oh no! The curse! I
it's fine.
said it.
It's fine.
All right, so 3v5 here. Surely we do not see the curse come through as the Bulldogs are going to be barreling in, trying to retake this site. Skarvik is going to be most likely this first contact, posted up in the back site. Going to be waiting it out here.
Oh, go the timing.
Get the information. Fullmonger manages to get the kill though. That's one of the healthier members of the attack is taken down. Saint back of the site can't manage to do anything. It's brought to a 2v2. Things are going pretty solid right now, but as they tap the spike, they're running low on time, and then the wrap around from Soba is gonna seal the deal. Is there time?
Yeah,
there's time. There's time.
Fullmonger.
I'm really surprised that they didn't play time there. They would have had it.
Yeah, that was over aggression. That was so
Yeah.
free actually but hey, no curse.
Like
There's
they
no
knew
such
that
thing.
they knew that they weren't on the spike as well because they tapped and then did the suck. Like that was a big misplay in the clutch, getting a little bit ahead of themselves. But
That
the
is
curse
something we've
avoided.
actually seen from LLE though a lot. We've seen a lot of over aggression. A lot of their man advantages actually keep failing. I mean, you can't really say it when it is 10-4, but it has been a lot of clutch performances at least at the latter half of this game in general because
They're
LLE
getting a
is
little more
actually-
confident. You can tell.
Yeah.
They're starting to play a bit too loose with it, and that could certainly come back to bite them if they're not careful. However, they're going to be happy walking away with the round that they just did. They caused a lot of economic damage, and they're able to get the plant as well to reinvest into this round. So it's going to come down to Fullmonger here on stage to hold off this entire attack. Won't even, actually will manage one somehow. Dezo on this lurk, but the site has been taken.
Yeah, and now LLE can hold it from here. This flank from Ionic, I don't believe was spotted, so... And it's going to be a post-plant spam, so I really want to see what Dezo can do here in a very interesting position, and will get shut down.
Beautiful shot from Ionic there. This round needs to be converted here for the side of Pandas. They need this as a confidence boost, I feel. So they're now trying to barrel in towards this side. It's a rotate around from Kingston, though, and they still have some stall on this spike as well, I believe. And yep, sure enough, there it is. The suck on the spike, and everything will be shut out here.
That is the magic of the Astra, though, able to put the suck on, because with the 5 stars, you can put up those 2 one-ways, you can put up a suck, you can put up a stun, just really useful things to actually do that spam on Haven especially, so I do like how the Astra pick is able to be used. We actually haven't seen a Cosmic Divide used yet this game, because of all the destruction going on, but... Either way, I do like how you can play Astra, especially on that seaside. It's a very interesting use, and I hope more teams are able to play them, even though I don't like Astra. It is a very nice concept to see, just very good macro usage.
Yeah, definitely, and that puts a rough position for Pandas. Now they are oh my god, never mind. Reshmonger just pulls them out of the darkness, out of nowhere, gets a collateral through the smoke, and all of a sudden they have a round to work with despite having some weaker weapons.
Yeah, Saint actually the reason they all died with the trip, but Dezo will find one. There is still a chance in this round, but with the low HP on Saint, it is definitely going to be a tricky one. They want to find maybe one more pick. Either way, it does look like A site will be where they land, but it is going to be very difficult. They have no smokes to work with. And I definitely can't see Reshmonger here actually clutching out this round or just playing this round really well for the side of PANDASQTS because it's so hard to try and try take the site or try and it's just over. All right.
I mean, just not ready for Ionic in that corner, so it's going to be a really solid position here for Pandas as they're looking to make one hell of a comeback happen, and it's none other than Reshmonger to kick it off. A great 3K in a round that they desperately needed.
Yeah, and we'll have to see what does happen here. We're going to get our first timeout from the side of LLE, which not really too surprised. You know, maybe talk to them, say, hey, we're having some rough rounds. Clean it up. Let's go. Because they have lost 3 of the last 4. Yes, 2 of them were the pistol and the force afterwards. But either way, maybe just try and clean up these plays a bit. Because like we mentioned before, it is a bit of over-aggression, over-eagerness that definitely has hurt them quite a bit. Either way, the Mongers now top fragging on the side of Pandas Cutie.
They hurt us.
Yeah, I mean, just showing up, and it's definitely not something that is common, but I'm here for it.
Resh really shut me up in that round. I was saying it wasn't a round that was looking particularly good for Pandas because of their economy, but just hit a quick little collateral through the smoke off the back of full Mongers tripwires. Just it's a usual Tuesday or it's Wednesday.
Yeah, but it is Wednesday. I do find that funny though because it is that Saint hit the trip while being paranoid, so they ran backwards, and when the ping actually went on, that's when Rush shot, but that's where the 2 of the teammates were. So they just get spammed down because of it, which I did find quite enjoyable.
It was certainly entertaining, and now we're gonna have to see more moments like that out of Reshmonger, or at least somebody else, because Pandas have a long road ahead of them if they want to make this comeback. This is gonna be theoretically one of the easier rounds, though, as it's a light buy here for long losts. A couple of sheriffs, a stinger, and a specter to work with.
Yeah, and I mean, not many ultimates on the board just yet. If Kharkiv does get that Rolling Thunder, they could potentially turn it into something, but with these potentially flanks coming through as well from the side of Pandas Cutie, it definitely looks even harder on the side here. As I mean, even they're just getting spotted out from everywhere. I can't speak right now. Either way, we'll definitely see how this round does commit, as they are going to go for this rotate, and there are 2 players waiting for them.
Yeah, Pandas has taken a lot of space here. They have 2 trap plays set up. One that is V-Riddle and one that is X-Monger, or Reshmonger rather, who is going to collect 2 kills. V-Riddle will be given a chance to get some kills of their own. As both these players will be felled, Ionic will be ready on the rotate, and Kuwasi is the last one left in a 1v3. We've seen some clean shots from them earlier, and they do have the spike, but not a lot of time to work with. As that timer hits 30, Kuwasi is going to have to start making a move here, and they're going to choose Garage, which is the worst option possible, as there's 2 players here. Manages to get some damage, but this is all to set up Ionic for a easy kill.
Yeah, Ionic able to rotate over there to make the player advantage even further in their favor, and then Ghost Garage has the firing squad. Pretty simple round, but here is where we get to the juice. We're going to see a buy out of LLE, and this is really where everything could come to pass. If LLE loses this round, there's just so much confidence and so much motivation that's here for the side of Pandas Cutie. They could find a lot of rounds in a row. They could find a lot of momentum being picked up. But we'll have to see what does end up happening. And V-Riddle with this operator could stop everything LLE wants to do in this round.
Definitely, V-Riddle's trying to replicate the success that Saint had on the defense with the op. Gonna let out a shot ring. I just fumbled that sentence, but shot's gonna ring out to take out that owl drone, which means that his attackers are gonna know where it's at, and they're gonna take advantage of it. They're gonna close in the space, throw a lot of utility in their face to just try and get through this site. They'll do so successfully at the cost of quite a bit of investment in terms of utility. They're gonna be left kind of dry for this post plant.
No Cosmic Divide once again, but Dezo is going to be on the flank. They get spotted out by the trip, so they know that's actually coming, but they have to be very careful of it anyway.
Yeah, Saint crunched down on the site. Too many angles to deal with, so it all comes down to this long spam, except for the flank of Dezo, who needs to start making their move. It was considered for a while here, but as the Hunter's Fury comes out, it's gonna all come down once again to Kuwasi, who almost gets the lineup on the players there, but instead, it'll be this comeback continuing to chug along from Pandas.
Yeah, and that is a huge momentum swing there, and as Gal continues to type in the chat, which I don't think he's supposed to do, but we'll have to see what LLE decide to do here, because now all the momentum is in the favor of the side of Pandas Cutie. They're able to find these rounds. They're playing that post plant a bit worse for wear, because like I mentioned before, Dezo was spotted, so they knew that flank was coming, so it found no value. they were also able to use a lot of ultimates. Kingston went down without using the Cosmic Divide once again, which definitely was even a huge factor in that round too. So either way, Reshmonger playing very well, 16-13 now, and it's looking good.
Saint tries to make things work on the B site with the overdrive, but can't get any ground as Ionic shuts down 2. Is traded back, but Crispy is there to lock it down as well. These players are forced to retreat through mid, and Dezo will manage to get a kill outside of Garage here. The rifles recovered, a lot of information secured off the neural theft as well, and it's down to a 3v3 here as they get this plant down on the C site. Dezo's so forward here. Will Crispy be ready for this deep of an angle? No, cover loading, but it's a passive angle from Dezo that will give them a fair fight. Crispy manages to win it here, and now this retake is looking very plausible.
Dezo not really paying attention and got caught with their pants down, did not have the right angle either way. They're going to be looking for this crunch as this flank comes in from Reshmonger.
They're ready for Kingston as well, spotted out by the Haunt. They're now caught between 2 angles, and it all comes down to Kawasi, who can't manage anything. Crispy closes it out, and this long and arduous comeback is slowly starting to get under the skin of Long Lost.
And they have no timeouts left either, so they just kind of have to chug along, and they need to stop making these awful decisions that have just hurt them after time and time, and now it's starting to get to the point where PANDASQTS, they're just punishing them every single time they do it. They go for these lurky plays. Dezo was able to find that pick, but once they saw Crispy, they still went for the fight, but you could just sense the confidence in it was just not there, and it was shown in those shots taken, and gives them another round for PANDASQTS. And now that this operator is still online, can definitely find even more in this round.
Definitely. V-Riddle has definitely found a little bit more success with the op than with the rifle here. Ionic is trying to contest mid here, will do so successfully. The breach diff comes through, and he even manages to get some damage down onto Saint as well. V-Riddle ringing out some shots towards window, and this attack has been completely stalled out.
Okay, that fade was...
I think it was bugged like into the wall.
That was very bugged. We are just seeing the opposite of what we saw last side. I mean, this attack for each team, or this defense for each team, has just been outplaying macro every single time. And Reshmonger finds another angle too.
Definitely, Reshmonger has been a shining light for Pandas as they collect a double kill and shut down the early aggression into the A site. It's going to set up their team well for another retake here, if it even comes down to that, as Fullmonger is possibly looking to pounce as this plant is going down. Utility will rein in, that plant will get committed, but Dezo under a lot of pressure here. Position noted, and Ionic deals with it beautifully. It's all left on the Saint, who doesn't anticipate the drop out of heaven, and it is 9-11.
Once again, the
comeback is looking like it's possible.
I mean, I think the comeback's already here before it ends, because it does look like at this point, LLE, the only reason they're able to get these rounds was because Saint's op, and without this op, their macro decisions have just been so poor. Okay, actually, they do have another timeout. Okay, they have their second timeout, their last timeout of the regular side, and it might be too late at this point. I'll be totally honest, we have the reverse funny number, and it is not looking good for LLE. They just can't find any decisions that are correct. They keep going down. They haven't used their Cosmic Divide as well, and it is just looking so good right now for the side of PANDASQTS, but of course, they are 2 rounds away from losing. They could potentially not be able to hold on. We'll definitely find out how they do decide to do it, but I mean, Reshmonger, Ionic, they've been such a good focal point for the side of PANDASQTS in this comeback.
I'm actually not positive on the rules for timeouts in Valorant. I at least thought that it was... Yeah, I was going to say, I thought it was 2 per game. You can invest them whenever. But they're saying it's once... Okay. Ecstatic, we're getting confirmation. So is it only once per half then? Okay.
Typically, or it is?
We'll
Typically doesn't matter, is it? Alright,
Well,
that's fine.
We'll have to look at the rule book real quick. I'm gonna
There.
Maybe
I'll
Giga's somewhere
message.
around lurking and
I'll shoot a quick message to Giga about it. You know, get the
anyway,
confirmation.
just like
Right there.
LLE is going to be pushing up this garage side, and Ionic won't get killed after getting spotted, so V-Riddle has to be very careful on the C site, but it does look like they're just going to give it up. Free C site now for LLE. Can they make the right decisions after that timeout, or will it go awry once again?
Yeah, it's definitely the question at this point. They have struggled a lot in these post plants, and it's going to continue to be a problem as they lose 3 bodies in the matter of seconds. It's down to a 2v4 post plant situation, and everything once again comes down to these spam plays at long who can't find their shots. V-Riddle best Saint, who has fallen off in this second half. And all of a sudden, everything falls onto Kingston, who has to pull off a ludicrous 1v4. We'll start it out with a headshot, but can't get anything to follow up. And we are at 11-10. Double digits has been breached.
I think LLE are completely mental boom now. They have completely thrown this game, and it is just out of the water. They can't make the right decisions. They have a Cosmic Divide still up, and they're going for a spam post-plant position, and they get punished by Ionic for the millionth time in this half, and all the good things we were saying about LLE before, they're completely gone. They have just absolutely thrown this game out of proportion. They don't want to face the realities of what is going on, and the same criticism we had for PANDASQTS in the first half, you can say the exact same thing. The awareness, the macro, every single decision that we've seen is just absolutely detrimental to their team. This operator for V-Riddle isn't even finding much value either, so it's literally just a lot of utility and just macro decisions from PANDASQTS starting to win them this game, because they are almost back. They only need 3 rounds, and they can win this. There's no overtime to go to if LLE cannot find a round. I'll definitely see what they decide to do, as A site is going to be the hit, but will they get caught by these trips again?
You want to fight it?
We'll try and break into the A site, but Fullmonger is there to shut down Sane. It's quickly traded back, though. And so it's going to come down to a 4v4 retake. This is probably the best shot, it feels like, at a post plant that Long Lost have had in quite a while, as Kharkiv is set up inside of Hell here to catch any of the players dropping out. Will avoid the Rolling Thunder. Only one player caught, and that's Kingston, who's tucked in at the boxes. This is looking great so far, but Reshmonger is trying to stamp out those dreams of a match point for Long Lost. That time's getting low, though, and it's gonna have to be none other than Reshmonger, who can't do so. Match point will be obtained for Long Lost after a streak of unfortunate rounds.
Crazy what happens when you use your Cosmic Divide. Wow, nuts what happens, what you can do on a site. As Fullmonger will call that timeout, and they do need to talk it through. They still need 2 rounds. They need to force overtime now. Can they hold on? I mean, from what we've seen in this half, I think they can. The Cosmic Divide is down, and they've been so good against this team on their post plants and their retakes. So I'm very confident that PANDASQTS can actually play this through, but we'll definitely have to find out, because the only good ultimates are on the side of LLE right now, unless you can find an opening pick, which we actually have been able to see from PANDASQTS. They can use that neural theft. But besides that, I want to see what V-Riddle can do here with this operator. We need to see some use to help out this team, and it does look like that we just haven't seen enough value from this op in general in this half.
Yeah, definitely. It's Pandas are gonna have to get back into this. I did look it up and check everything, and it is limited to 1 timeout per half. So we're probably gonna have to figure something out for that. Definitely gonna have to see how this match plays out, though. I feel, I don't know.
Doesn't really make sense, but you know, I don't make the rules. But
Yeah, I thought that it was just you had 2, like, throughout the match in general.
either way, we'll definitely see how it does play out. Gal did say that they'll let it slide, so we'll just play it out either way. V-Riddle with this operator. I'm looking at you. Will have the smoke in front. Finds the shot.
Yeah, good shot for V-Riddle to get them back on track for this comeback. V-Riddle looks to get yet another kill and will do so successfully at the cost of their own life, but they've set up their team to succeed now as Ionic is playing on the edge of this smoke. It's just waiting for Kharkiv to push right in, and that's exactly what will happen. Ionic gets the kill, falls back, looks to cut off Dezo as well. This could be great, but Dezo does manage to win that fight. So it's going to come down to a 2v3 post-plant situation in which LLE have struggled time and time again throughout this half. It's going to be a, once again, a set, slow pace and a setup for this retake out of Pandas. They look to slowly clear their way through their site. They're being diligent about this.
Awesome.
Yeah, Kingston picks up the op, which could be a problem if they don't hit their shots. They're going to swap back out to the rifle. They pop the suck, but it's actually not going to hit the spike. They're able to start sticking the defuse, and as a result, the coverage comes through. So right back to winning ways, and we need all of regulation for this match.
What I wanted to mention there is that Kwasi and Kharkiv both have their ultimates up, and they went down so early in the round. That was so detrimental to actually take that site and be able to hold them off, because a Hunter's Fury and a Rolling Thunder, that is so important for those for just holding off people's site, able to find the kills, and huge picks there for the side of PANDASQTS. Now we'll have to see the final round. The guns are so far in the favor of PANDASQTS, but you never know what can happen. Anything can be shot down, and like I said last round, I wanted to see V-Riddle show up, and with those two picks, definitely was impressive. Now Crispy finds Dezo.
This could be going to overtime as the early pick goes the way of Pandas, and the economy is so weak for Long Lost as well. They only have one rifle to work with here on Kwasi. They're looking once again to try and take this A site, but they've failed so many times. They're going to smoke off Heaven, but going ahead of the smoke, so V-Riddle is able to hit this flick onto Kingston. And now, as this plant goes down, it's a 5v3 retake. We have seen Pandas be so strong in these situations, and Saint is spotted out as well, forced to fall back. They know exactly where they are, and they can just slowly crunch down on this site. Kwasi manages to get the kill onto Crispy, and there is some ultimates available as well. I could have spoken too soon, as everything's falling apart in a matter of seconds. It's all left up to Ionic in the 1v2, and the time is so low as well. Surely no way to pull this over the line, and just barely by their skin of their teeth, Long Lost managed to win Haven.
Somehow they're able to find the picks. Kwasi able to find one on the flank, and then Saint with the double judge kill opens up the round like crazy, and then gets help from the player from V-Riddle that jumped down and broke his legs, got shot instantly when he went for Saint from behind, and of course with the overdrive wins the round 23-15-5 for LLE Saint. And I mean, with an almost heartbreaker map for LLE, they are able to close it out just barely.
Yeah, definitely. It was, I said earlier that Pandas tend to have a bit of a slow start to their series, and they definitely picked it up towards the tail end of Haven there. Let's see if they're able to carry it over into their next map of Ascent. We'll be right back after this 5-minute break.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my
the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Don't stare 'cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. You meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. My darling dear, you're never here. When I'm in pain, you hide and disappear. Like shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere. Yeah. I prayed for you and kept you near, in hopes you'd chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares too. I used to run with you through the great big leaves, laugh at you when you laugh at me. Hope for us because I believe the home was just you and me. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me.
Do you remember how you held me then? Now you got me reaching out. And do you see you got me falling in more times than I can get out. Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, how long do I got to keep you, to keep you? Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, trying so hard not to keep you, to keep you.
We are back with this matchup of LLE versus Pandas QT, a match that at first looked to be a little bit of a blowout, but it seems like there's some more to meet than meets the eye with this one, as Pandas almost managed to pull off a 10-2 comeback, but fell just short as we now go to Haven, which is their map pick.
I mean, both of their defenses looked absolutely phenomenal. They looked like they understood the map play. They looked like they understood how to play the macro, but every single time one of the teams was on attack, which once again, it is going to be Pandas Cutie starting on. They just fell flat every single time. We kind of talked about it quite a bit on both of the sides where it had to kind of feel like they weren't able to understand what each team was, or weren't able to understand what the opposite team was doing on each time to actually beat them. So I really want to see them pay attention more and able to overcome these challenges that they've had on their attack side.
I'm interested to see if these teams can keep up their streak of defensive success over here on Ascent, a map that lends itself a little bit more to the defensive side than something like Haven, as it is going to be LLE starting on the side that both teams have found significantly more success in.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we saw how much of a lead they're able to get on that first map, but of course, that was Haven, a map that is definitive for its attacker side that fell flat. So, will we see it again? Is the question, as we're going to get a very simple team setup this time. It is a mirror matchup coming through. Nothing too fun, nothing too fancy, but we'll have to see what these teams do decide to do here on this map.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen here. So LLE, they're gonna be starting out hopefully strong once again. It'd be a bit unfortunate to see them lose sort of their groove, even though they won map one. It got very close, and it would be really unfortunate to see it affect them.
Yeah, and now we are on. Well, this is going to be now Pandas Cutie's map. They're gonna look to bounce back here, where we know Pandas Cutie can be a very good team. We saw really good stuff out of Rushmonger in that game, which we haven't really seen before. So I'm really interested to see if they can actually keep up that performance heading into this one. But the main person I'm looking at is V Riddle. I need to see a bounce back on this Jet. It just wasn't finding any kills really, especially with the operator. So I'm really looking to see what kind of bounce back we can see.
Found their form a lot better towards the second half, and we need to see a strong start, I feel, out of Viridal if they want to win this match, as it's going to be really difficult to crack through this Ascent defense. They're going to look to posture towards trees here. It's Saint who will meet them, who had a hot hand in the last game. Can they pick it right back up, though, is the question.
A bit high.
V-Riddle is going to be the first engagement. Yeah, crosshair's too high. V-Riddle just hits the shot there and gets an opening towards this a site, which they are going to take by the horns here. However, Kingston tucked in at main is going to cut this off, manages to get a kill, and another one is also lost here for Pandas. So in a rough situation as they're floundering around the map trying to find somewhere to call home. Crispy will take out Dezo, and they're going to make their way onto the B site.
I mean, we can definitely see a lot of things from Kingston and Kwasi. Very good members of the team. Kwasi definitely showing quite a bit last game, so I'm interested to see what they're able to do for long lost. But on the other side, Ionic is still alive, one of my favorite players for Pandas Cutie. So we'll definitely see how this does match up, but they're definitely the underdogs in this round.
Certainly are. Crispy jump spotting out of a B main, just wants to secure the information. They have a really good position to secure this pistol round. As Crispy just execute out of here whenever they feel the need to. Gonna send out a sonar dart to stall the time even further. Gonna end up having a fight with Kingston that will go the defender's way, but as this time is so low, there's no way into this round.
They just stalled it out way too much. Every single person in this round will die, but the round will go over to Pandas Cutie. They find the second pistol of the series, and we'll definitely see if they can put a lot more aggression into it. We have to see what this attack can do now. Now that they're starting off strong, they're able to find that. Now they cannot fall victim to you-know-what, because that definitely is always a thorn in the sides of these teams, but we'll definitely find out how that does work out as it does look like they want to potentially go towards this B side or just play slow. They're just playing slow. They're going to go, hey, never mind. Don't listen to me.
They almost fell victim to it as well in the first map, so definitely a little bit susceptible to it here. We're gonna see if Pandas QT can weather the storm here. As Fullmonger is trying to just get information towards this B site. Most of the players are stacked up towards this A mid split. V-Riddle will get the first contact, which is gonna force Kharkiv back towards heaven, as the solitary player on this A site is going to call the cavalry over, and this is all an elegant ruse by Pandas as Fullmonger tucks into this B site. I imagine that this information will be relayed, and they're going to start to make their way over towards it.
It does look like they're still questioning the play, but Rushmonger with the bomb will head over there. All 5 members of the side of LLE are still at A. They're going to start rotating over, but will they get caught with their pants down once again? I mean, we've seen it before, and Riddle's in a good opportunity.
Fullmonger is going to give away their position, though, by putting down the alarm bot. V-Riddle inside of Market is going to take out Kawasi with that Bulldog. And now, as this plant goes down, it is looking like a great position for Pandas as they look to convert their second round bye.
And it does look like Crispy might go down here. No. Oh, Saint escaping with the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, and Kharkiv might be able to take out this Sova as well inside of mid. Not going to be expecting this, surely, so it could be just a little bit of economic damage at the very least. Make it not a flawless round. That's pretty much the only solace you'll be given.
Yeah, it does look like Kharkiv might be wanting to say no. A's going to peek out, look for a potential kill. Has the classic go. I don't know what happened there. I guess didn't reload the Guardian. Either way, pretty clean round there for the side of PANDASQTS. Ionic 3-0, Riddle 3-1. Definitely some players that you want to see pop off, and definitely see what happens in this match, because we're only 2 rounds in. But now we need to see if this defensive side of LLE can perform. Can they realize what the side of PANDASQTS are doing? Because that has been kind of the factor that was missing in the second half of last map. They weren't able to figure out what the side or what PANDASQTS actually wanted to do in these rounds, and that was definitely a dagger to their heart. Of course, they did win it out at the end of the day, but I want to see if they can optimize themselves and look for some advantages around the map.
Take flight.
Now see what LLE have up their sleeve when they have a full buy to work with. The only player that doesn't particularly have a rifle is going to be Kawasi, who decided to go for the Ares instead, seemingly by choice. Could have bought up a rifle with light armor, but instead wants to try and have that high penetration gun to cause some damage inside of B main. So damage right now, it's the catwalk that's going to be a big problem here for Pandas. They can't break through this A site.
Kingston with 2 strong shots here, able to find some advantages. And with this whiff alert game, Saint will fall down the Riddle. That is actually really good damage to get down and potentially give yourself some leeway into this round.
Yeah, definitely. V-Riddle is going to lose a lot of their HP, but that's still a good engagement to win. At the end of the day, you're trying to cause as much economic damage in this round as you can. Obviously, winning it would be huge, but this is looking pretty solid here for the side of LLE as a response.
You should always look at these type of rounds as you're looking for the long-term advantage of just getting a lot of damage down on the team with guns, and with not much time remaining, it's definitely going to be a lot harder, and Kingston could find a really nice timing on this bomb planter, but with that smoke going down, will definitely be a bit nicer for them.
Yeah, Kingston struggling to find these shots as well. Will manage to eventually clean up that kill onto V-Riddle, and Reshmonger goes down as well. So everything's left up to Fullmonger in the 1v4. He's just going to look to try and stop that defuse from coming in, but it's going to be a hollow kill there as 3 are alive for LLE. This means that they can rebuy pretty comfortably into the next.
But since they whiffed again on the Fullmonger, they're able to actually pick up some more damage. You know, it is definitely a bit rougher buy if they do decide to invest into this round, and it does look like that will be the case. I don't believe Kharkiv, if we can get a quick POV on him, does he have any utility in this round? Or not? Oh, he does. Okay. So they're actually fine for the most part. So we'll definitely see what this round does decide on, because whoever loses it doesn't really have money for next besides Fullmonger. Fullmonger, the lone money bag in this game, I guess you could say. I mean, Kwasi, again, investing in this Ares, so, or still has the Ares, didn't pick up any other weapons, so very interesting decisions I'm seeing from both teams, at least at the start of this round.
Interesting indeed. At this point, I'm wondering what the attack is going to be looking like for Pandas. They've now got full rifles to work with, presumably full utility as well. The Saint is not able to recreate the same success they had early on in Haven. Once Kingston is now going to be the main player to hold on to this A site. Does have Kharkiv in support, but as they're spotted out by this arrow, this could bode poorly for the defense as they can't hold off this flood. And Dezo trying to get aggressive on this retake with some spam, won't get anything going. This is a great post-plant setup for Pandas.
And once again, the whiffs do favor PANDASQTS. Ionic will pick up some, but Dezo has a potential upset coming.
1v2 does have the full HP to work with as well. So they're going to drop out of heaven, forced onto the reload, and Reshmonger playing passive in hell is going to catch Dezo unaware. So no clutch will come through. Instead, it'll be 3 rounds for Pandas.
Saint just falling off a cliff with Kwasi, the two best members, in my opinion, of LLE in the first map, have yet to find a single kill, and it's showing. They're just taking these bad, or at least Saint, at least we've seen, has been taking really bad fights, has been whiffing quite a bit, and it has definitely been on the backtrack so far in this game. Meanwhile, like I mentioned at the start of this map, I want to see Riddle do a lot better, and already 5-3, gonna pop the Bladestorm here. I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing so far from PANDASQTS, but of course anything can happen.
Great adaptation so far from map 1 and leading into map 2 as well here, as they've had a lockdown on this map so far. Ascent is going significantly better than Haven did, and looking to keep that going, is barreling up through mid and winning every single fight that comes their way. Kingston is going to try and backstab, but can't even get a single player. Everything falls apart, and though Dezo gets 2 kills, won't be able to get anything else. The round eventually goes the way of Pandas.
And another, I trying not to say anything mean to LLE, but another stupid buy from them will land them back in the doghouse, and the economy now is starting to build here for the side of PANDASQTS. They may have been taking a lot of damage in these rounds, but they can buy for a few more now. Sheriffs are going to come out here for LLE, but it is feeling rough. I would have kind of liked to see a timeout maybe come after this round, because every single thing they're trying to do isn't working, and they just keep trying to force it. Saint might die again at the start of this round. We'll see, because it's just looking rough.
Monger looking to just spam them down with this Odin is going to do exactly that. 2 players are lost in a single spray. This is looking really rough here for the side of LLE, as they have fumbled their way through Ascent, and they will continue to be shut out here. Only a single round afforded to them.
This Diamond team is starting to look bronze. They are just making absolute poor macro decisions. And I mean, that's something I did mention quite a bit in the last match. I don't want to be a broken record, I'm sorry, but they just keep just making awful decisions that are, what, 1 in like 100 that will work out. You push through, you know that there are people in lobby, and you're just hoping for some sort of surprise play. You should be expecting, if there are people towards lobby, that Odin is most likely there as well, and they still tried to spam through the wall. Definitely just not what you need to do in these rounds, and something that you don't usually see in these games is Fullmonger is 7-1 on KJ.
Because we just went to shoot his own team's KO knife. That got me. However, Op in the hands of Saint, who managed to get a lot of success with this on Haven. So maybe this is perhaps what they need to turn it around. They're 1-6 currently, have struggled inside of this map, but it's a better start than most of these rounds for LLE, as they will secure a player advantage. Kharkiv is going to just stall out this push through mid. Fullmonger Doesn't seem like there's any pace to this though. They're just posting up for the late round.
I mean, they don't have to at this point. They've been so strong in these rounds. Can Dezo actually hold this? Taking the fight too. This is definitely scary.
Done well so far inside of Tree on an individual level, but these players will manage to slip through, and V-Riddle is going to take the fight to Dezo. Kingston and Dezo, though, stand strong and manage to take out most of these players. It's all up to Ionic, and a 1v4 without any abilities to work with is going to fall in a matter of seconds. So finally, it is a second round for LLE.
Dezo right now has been the one saving grace. We've seen a couple of 2Ks now. Yes, they may have been at the end of these rounds, but now when Dezo is able to find some footing and able to hold their ground, that 2-pick goes such a long way for the side of LLE. And now they maybe have some leeway into this game. Of course, we have seen something similar last map. We saw this. Maybe there's a potential for PANDASQTS to get back in, but they just fell flat. Can LLE this time around do what couldn't be done before? We did see them win out their last map. Can they do it now? But you need to see what Saint can do here. Has the operator isn't on the right side of the map, but Fullmonger is around. Can Saint show us what great op skills are once again?
Certainly the player to keep your eye on right now. It's sort of the biggest question mark. Really struggled to find their footing inside of this map. Hasn't been tested so far with the op though. The shot will go awry. It is not looking great for Saint inside of map 2. Kingston has managed to step up their form, is doing pretty solid here. So they managed to get yet another opening kill. It's the A site once again that is the victim of the push. It's gonna be the picks going the way of Pandas. As that Hunter's Fury comes out, it will shut down the lockdown. Fullmonger trying to late activate from mid. It's just gonna keep this pressure up, and Dezo is gonna be felled here. It is all up to Kawasi and Saint to pull off this retake, and I don't fancy their chances personally. They're going to try and get the tap on the spike. They're running low on time. Kawasi holds strong for one, but there's just so many angles to deal with and so little time to do so. So this round will fall victim to the clock.
And since they didn't want to save, they lose the operator. Fullmonger picks up a 3K. This whole round was lost because Saint missed the easiest shot of their life. Fullmonger was not paying attention. They'll call a timeout, but that one shot saved the round there for the side of PANDASQTS. 10-2. You don't usually see this from Fullmonger, especially on the Sentinel role, but just absolutely dominating this LLE team that have looked absolutely lost. They just aren't showing the same amount of resilience that we saw before, and all those plays that they're making for, all that over aggression has just blown up in their face, and we're just seeing PANDASQTS optimize and playing so well in these rounds. Definitely one of the standouts of what we're seeing so far in this map. The main players don't really need to do much because you're seeing some of the lower usual standings players actually just playing so well in these rounds. And now we have to see what the side of LLE can do. Hopefully the coach can talk some sort of sense into them. They need to talk to each other, and I need to see some good teamwork coming out from them.
Sorry, you ended that mid yawn. I'm sorry. I thought I could sneak it in there before you finish your.
Always great timing.
But I mean, it feels kind of asleep at the wheel right now for LLE. They've struggled a lot, and there's just been a lot of moments where they're just kind of not anticipating the same approach from PANDASQTS.
It does kind of look like they're playing solo queue at the moment, if that makes any sense. They're just kind of throwing each other off, just playing single picks, and once again, they get taken down.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to take mid with on an eco, which definitely can work, but in this instance, it's not boding well for them, as a lot of damage is also put down on their CT player. What a shot from Riddle. Saint is just sniped out of the air, and as all the defenders fall but one, it is going to be the plant on a B site, and Dezo left in a brutal 1v4.
I feel like the more aggression that LLE actually try to take, the more times they die and throw the round. Every single time they try and take these one-on-one picks, it just blows up in their face. Dezo will find one. It doesn't matter. It's 7-2. Foolmonger, 11-3. Rushmonger, 10-4. These two are playing absolutely insane. Definitely a big step up from the last time we saw them. Maybe that week that they took off, they were just training, because they are looking really nice in this match. And I'm just very impressed so far. We'll definitely see what LE can do to try and do something else. But with that timeout already being done, their advantage, that timeout advantage that we've seen so many times in this tournament, is over, and they're just not taking their plays to heart at this point.
Need to see some kind of adjustment out of LLE here. It just feels so deflated right now, and the only player that's really had much of a read on a lot of these plays from Pandas has been Dezo. One player can only carry so much weight. Kvassi tries to step up for his team, manages to get a kill with that Sheriff, but that's all that will be afforded to them, and the rest of the team is going to have to forfeit the site and respect that Killjoy lockdown. Crispy on the flank hold is going to manage to beat out Saint, and this retake is looking less and less likely by the second, as Ionic is set up to receive these defenders coming back in at lane. It is also V-Riddle set up in a spot to succeed, but only manages to go 1-for-1. It's down to a 1v1, and Crispy sends out the drone as well. This is you have to move, Crispy. You have to go quick. The defuse is just being stuck. Absolutely passive setup from Crispy just gets called out by Kingston.
Whoever called stay on spike, good job. I mean, if they got off there, if they baited themselves into that, that would have been just so sad for Kingston, but they called the right play. Finally, they're able to realize, hey, the Sova is still mid, and then they're able to just play numbers and eventually find the picks. That was almost a thrifty, I believe, or was it thrifty? I don't actually remember. Either way, they win that round. They found the picks, and again, I just need to see more from Kvassi and Saint. They have 3 kills combined in this match so far, and they top fragged their team last match. Definitely an underperformance that you need to try and figure out in the rest of this half. Of course, you can find stuff in the second half of this game, but you don't want to try and rely on that every single time.
Hopefully that round inspired a little bit of confidence in LLE, but it's Kvassi under so much pressure here. Once again, this B site is gonna get abused. The attackers are gonna find themselves another comfy, cozy post plant. It's Crispy is looking to aggress this angle. Will give over the kill on from Saint. So now the defenders are going to be giving this a look, and they have a better shot than they did 5 seconds ago, that's for sure. As they're also going to send out that 0 point. It's going to identify the location of some of the players, and they're going to start to close in here. There's another lane push, and it's not going to work out well this time. Ionic closes out the last 2 kills, and this post plant goes the way that you would expect from Pandas.
The macro decisions we're seeing from Pandas compared to their Haven is just on a different level. They're just playing so much smarter. They're playing more concise with each other. And a lot of that has to do with their util usage. They're playing off each other. They're just talking to each other, which it doesn't look like that's what LLE are doing. It looks like they are just playing solo queue. Like I said before, they're just making some very interesting decisions. Mid is just being given up, so Kvassi just dies from market. It's just not what you want when you're playing that Odin on B site, and it's just so free for what Pandas are doing. They're pulling this team around the map so concisely, and with them taking another bad angle, when you have a Stinger, that's a pretty easy kill there from the attacker op.
Yeah, B-Riddle's gonna win that fight every single time. The op versus the Stinger at long range is not the kind of aim duel you want to be taking. And, well, it's gonna be felt there from Kharkiv, who's just not gonna have any say in this round. Saint is also caught out inside of a main. It's gonna be stripped from the defenders, and this looks like a 9-3 half.
Yeah, it's not looking great, but I mean, if you believe in curses, anything can happen. We did see what Pandas could do last map. Can they do it on, I mean, this one? Can they find it but actually win it this time?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see if LLE shows the same resilience that
Oh,
Pandas did
Kwasi.
so far. Kwasi is doing really
Wait.
well. And Dezo from the back also manages to get one himself, but there's a late flank coming in. Comes down to Crispy on this site to stall out the time long enough for Foolmonger, and they'll do exactly that, as it will fizzle out. A potential chance in the round for the defenders, but they won't find it. Instead, they'll only find a 3-9 deficit as they swap to the attacking side.
Foolmonger's lurks this game have been so deadly every single time, has always been able to find at least 1 or 2 picks, and once again, it pays dividends. That should have been a round they probably could have lost if Kwasi was a bit, or if they're just a bit faster for LLE, but Foolmonger, able to find those picks, secures the round in something that was a bit scary. Now we'll have to see what this defense looks for the side of PANDASQTS. Will it look as good as last time, or will it falter like we just saw from LLE? That is the question, as once again, the Omen and Killjoy for both teams are the ones actually stepping up for both their teams, while the Duelist, the Jet, and the Sova are both the bottom 2. I don't know what that has to say about the series in general, but I mean, that is kind of interesting.
Yeah, we now turn our eyes to LLE's attack as they try to right the wrongs that they had in their first half. It's Saint who pitches up the frenzy, not something you see very often, and I'm interested to see if that decision pays off. They're set up right below heaven. It's not going to work well. The defenders crunch in and everything falls apart. It's all left up to Kwasi. He can only manage 1 kill. It is the pistol for Pandas.
I know it's a bit early to call it, but I don't know if LLE can win the series at this point. Yes, I'm seeing series, not just map. I'm just really liking what I'm seeing from PANDASQTS. Again, they're just showing so many good macro decisions that we have not seen from LLE since the first half of the very first map. And even then, like we actually mentioned then, it was just PANDASQTS just not making the right decisions, just not following what LLE are doing in this round. And now that we're seeing the opposite of that, now that we're seeing the adjustments made from PANDASQTS team, it is just, we're just not seeing any advantage taken advantage of so far for LLE, and we have seen it pay dividends time and time again. We'll have to see what they do on this A side as they attack, but I'm just really hoping they can figure it out.
Pretty much putting all of their eggs into this basket. They force buy into this round, which if they lose it means that the entire map will surely fall out of their hands. They do manage to get onto the site and get a plant down here, so it's an all right position, but we saw this in the exact same thing in the last round, and it was a beautiful retake from Pandas which is where they've shown most of their strength. However, this time the opening kills will go better for LLE. So they managed to secure 2 kills inside of Heaven, and Saint is looking to rush down Reshmonger. Is going to be taken out. It's brought back to a 3v3. Reshmonger under a lot of pressure from the smoke, but is going to thrive in this environment. They shallow clear Heldo. This could be the damning mistake of the round, as Kharkiv is able to just deny the defuse, and that means that the attackers will push, just barely walk away with the round.
A messy round at that. Like I said, I might have called my chickens too early, because LLE, they get the curse. They find a round. Kharkiv with the 4K that came literally out of nowhere. Just poor decisions there with the smoke in general from Reshmonger. And I think just the ammo situation in a way was really the detriment there. They just couldn't, their guns right when they needed them didn't have the bullets to provide them around. So definitely hurt them at the end of the day. We're going to see a mid push potentially here from the side of PANDASQTS. No one looks like they're really going there, but the bomb is still in the spawn. So definitely, I like how this is for Pandas thus far, but since A site is completely free, unless they get shot when they're rotating, this does look really good.
Last game, I think the issue was for Pandas. I didn't believe, and so they just barely fell short. I'm not going to make that mistake again. I believe in this comeback, and I can feel one coming on here. As LLE are looking to bounce back after an invigorating round win on their second or on their attacking half that I think we both were kind of writing them out of. If they lost that, the map was over.
Yeah, it was definitely gross. Now Kharkiv finally finds a whiff that, I mean, can't really before that is your Phantom, so Kwasi will want to go and get that. If Kwasi dies too, though, and Whale, that is another gun down. That's not something you can afford when you're down this far in a series.
And Chris is going to be able to run away with that Phantom as well. So that means that it's going to be a little bit of help towards the economy here for Pandas QT. It's definitely not what you want to see if you're rooting for this LLE comeback.
But either way, they keep 3 into the next round. They still are looking quite good. They will be able to buy some more, but there is the economy that you would definitely want into the next one. But this is where it all comes down to. Pandas Cutie can buy into this round. The gun situation is actually going to look very similar, especially economy-wise, I believe, too. So I actually think the LLE do have the economy coming into this round. We'll see the Nano is picked up. Okay, that is really good. We're going to see the Null command come out. Can they defend this B site?
Interested to see what LLE will have when they're when they're dealing with a full arsenal from the defense. So far, they're trying to isolate Crispy on the site, and Crispy hits a crispy 2K. Looking at the name that you would expect to use. Foolmonger is possibly going to be the linchpin of this round. Wrapping around B main could catch out some of these attackers, but it's a great shot from Nate, who finds a 3K. Could possibly be finding their form. Oh my god, Kharkiv didn't see them in the vlogs, but does manage to get the kill. So it all comes down to Kharkiv, who is off-site, which means V-Riddle is just going to take it and try and stick this defuse. Drops a smoke onto it. That's bam coming out from Kharkiv. Doesn't find the mark. It's just going to be V-Riddle holding the angle. Gets tagged up through the wall. Sees the arm through the wall. But Kharkiv wins the clutch. It is 6-10, and this comeback is on.
If you're V-Riddle, you're fuming. You saw that shoulder for so long, but waited to shoot that head, but it just didn't come. You shot just early. The shoulder is hit. Kharkiv counters since you're already low. And now Kharkiv, 14, 13, and 8. Now top fragging this LLE team. This comeback is now doable. It puts them onto an eco. It puts LLE into a good economy advantage if they can escape this round really nicely. They don't have really that great of ultimate. Both teams have a lot of ultimates coming up soon, actually, especially this Pandas QT team. So definitely want to see if they can find a pick. They can definitely find a huge advantage at the start of this round.
Can't see LLE falling asleep at the wheel like we did in their first half, though. They need to be clean on this. They do not have a lot of room for error, and over-aggression and overconfidence feels like it's punished most brutally in rounds like this, where it's a desperate play with lower economy for the defenders. They can really make some wild stuff happen. Foolmonger trying to hold off these attackers, stall out the time, but they're just going to choose to go elsewhere. They're getting herded into mid here, which could mean Ionic has a chance. It's going to be spotted out by the alarm bot, tagged through the smoke. Knife won't even catch anybody. Will be caught with a knife on their own, so won't be able to use any of their utility. These A defenders are being pinched on, and the site belongs to LLE.
I don't think they're expecting this Omen here either.
Yeah, Kingston is so far up here, manages to collect a double kill, and will just fall back with that on 23 HP. That's definitely the smart decision to do. It's good to see LLE not getting too ahead of themselves, but do they read into this flank from Ionic? There's a player inside of Wine. That's Kwasi. Will you be ready to take out Ionic here? Just waiting for the contact. Timing doesn't go their way, but still, Kwasi manages to secure the kill here, and Foolmonger is left in a 1v3 that feels too tall of a task.
Kingston played so slowly there on Wine, waiting for the team actually to rotate over the Cubby and Cat and able to push through tree, but Kingston finds a pick, able to go up on the heaven, finds a double, which is so huge for them to actually win that round in general. They don't lose as much as you would think. Of course, we did see the timing not go the way of Kwasi, but, or I forget who died. I know Kwasi got the final kill. Either way, huge round there for LLE overall. That is what you need. They're only down by 3. Their economy is looking better. But can V Riddle's op just bought now save the day? It didn't look that great on Haven, but definitely can be something new. As Ionic, huge shot on the Kingston.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. Ionic is still top fragging this entire lobby. 17 and 12 right now for the KO. And that knife is gonna glow. V Riddle will also light up the scoreboard here as they manage to take out Dezo. This full buy from the defense is looking to hold off the attackers well, but that alarm bot doesn't quite spot out trees. Saint could manage to slip the net here, but spotted out by the turret, still is able to take out Reshmonger. This is brought back to a 3v3 and made 3v2 by Kuwasi getting yet another kill. So all of a sudden, this is a rough retake here for the side. Oh, double kill! Oh, the Hunter's Fury, though, is going to set up Crispy to win this round for their team. It comes down to the 1v1. Kharkiv, 4 HP in the clutch. Crispy has to pull through big for their team. Managed to get a double with the Hunter's Fury, but we need a little bit more in the tank as Kharkiv starts to pick their position for this clutch. Not sure if they're going to anticipate Crispy wrapping all the way around a main here. Kharkiv's putting a lot of focus towards heaven, but they're going to start to consider the options. They're tucking into hell. They get the perfect timing for this. Crispy sends the dart into the back of the site, but you're running low on time. Gets the ping, gets the spam, and Crispy pulls through for their team to find an 11th.
The reaction time there from Crispy, or from Kharkiv, just wasn't enough. Crispy, good dart, smart play smart, or play slowly in general, and able to find it because they knew they had the advantage there with the Odin, 4 HP. Not really much Kharkiv could do besides just play the position, and unfortunately, you chose the wrong one. You got baited in the hell, and that is great for the side of PANDASQTS. 2 rounds off of winning this map. But you have to get there, though. You have to figure it out. And with Saint now having this Blade Storm up, didn't find anything in the last half. But can it find something here? Because LLE, there's still a far way to go from coming back. But it is definitely possible.
Riddle gets that op back in their hands, though, and that could prove to be a problem here for LLE. Definitely interested to see how this pans out here as Ionic, who, as I mentioned before, has been very strong inside of this map, is going to look to get another kill, and Kharkiv is going to be taken down. Oh no. Drake doesn't even come through, and Kingston is just being caught out here. It still manages to get the kill somehow, though. Ionic goes down, and so it's brought back to a 4v4 here. So these attackers are slowly working their way around the map. It's going to come down to this timing inside of mid. Smoke is just going to mean it favors the defenders, but is there an angle here? Can we get a look at V Riddle? I don't know if they have an angle for this. No, not quite able to spot out these players pushing up tree, and that means everything's gonna fall onto Reshmonger's shoulders, who can only bear the weight of one player before getting traded out. Crispy could get caught in the back as well, as Saint is pushing their way around tree, but some hesitation here from Saint could be the downfall. They're hesitating very hard here, and as the tap comes through, the Hunter's Fury will be popped. Crispy gets the lineup again, possibly, but it doesn't quite hit. Does manage to take out the player on the defuse, and V Riddle doesn't consider tree fast enough, so Saint pulls off another round.
Alright, Saint's play there made a lot more sense. You saw that Kwasi was conferring, saying, hey, we have the Hunter's Fury, just play off it. I know you have the knives, but we can play this so slowly and play it so smart. And that happened exactly. And once again, these Sovas with the Hunter's Fury are fighting quite a bit of kills here. By the way, also, I do want to mention, I know this is totally off topic.
First timeout of the map?
No, we saw a timeout from
Did we?
LLE earlier, I believe so. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I feel like we saw one.
I feel like we didn't see it.
Do you remember or no?
Static, be our memory. We need to put our 3 collective brain cells together.
Yeah,
right, Ecstatic says that there was one. Rhodes thinks it was LLE, so
I mean, I know it wasn't.
I believe my boys.
I know it wasn't Pandas with how well they did do in that first half, and I know this is off topic, but Crispy is on Sova, not Fade, which is something we very rarely see. It doesn't really matter what map. You usually see Crispy playing Fade, but on this, Sova has done quite a great job, especially with that Hunter's Fear that got the double kill.
I'm kind of feeling the crispy Sova though, right? I mean,
It's
it's
looking
been
good.
clean. Obviously not putting a lot of kills forth and even not a ton of assists, but it feels like we've seen a lot of impact out of Crispy more than anything.
Yeah, and we'll have to see a bit more if they want to secure this map because that Sova.
Actually, there's only 4 kills between the top and the bottom. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you.
No, it's all good. And we'll have to see what LLE do decide to do here. We have seen some timeout buffs happen before, not in the series though. It feels like every time you call a timeout, you lose the round. So is it the anti buff or is it a buff in general? As we'll definitely see how that does transpire. A lot of players are towards A though. If they're able to read this, this B site is completely free for the side of LLE.
The anti-buff. I hear kids these days are even calling it a debuff. You know, kids always coming up with those terms and stuff.
I can't word, okay? Like
It's fine. I'm just messing with you. We've fumbled. I've fumbled my way through plenty of sentences as well today. Almost messed that one up in case you couldn't tell by me slowing down.
It does look like they're going to commit to A here, so this trap play could potentially do really well for the side of PANDASQTS, but will they pay attention?
Saint is dealing with a lot of utility here, but actually won't take any chip damage except for a couple of shots from the turret, which is easy to shrug off as a lot of damage from that shock dart. Rossi is looking to try and collect some kills here, but will lose out the fight. Rifle possibly given over to the defenders.
Flank though.
And yeah, this flank could be a problem, but Dezo's flanking the flank. Is he? No, there's no way you're ready for Ionic here, and so Ionic gets a free kill, manages to pick up a rifle. V-Riddle trying to spam through the wall to get some kind of opener, and it looks like Ionic's just gonna save.
That's a great kill from Kingston. Actually helped us round out so much, but taking the
Ionic's
don't
coming
take
back.
your ones.
You're running low on time. I almost would rather see them save here because at this point the timer is so far gone. You're just walking into a crossfire, and they're gonna go down as we approach a possible tied half here.
AL, the funny number.
Okay, I was trying to avoid it, but yes.
Great use of teleport here from Kingston. Gonna go
Canadian, by the way.
absolutely huge. Just gonna find so much. I mean, Ionic has been pushing up quite a bit, so we could actually see them push forward, but with no ult orb needed, really. It's probably not going to be the best choice.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody teleport on top of this.
Oh, will they be paying? This is going to be the weirdest 1v1. No, the timing!
Oh, he got off the angle. It was so good, too. Oh, and Ionic is just going to slip through A main as well. They set their sights, though, on B. It's a very passive setup from the defenders. Flank watch doesn't go well, though, as they lose 2 players. 3, in fact, as Fullmonger doubles up on the site hold, and all of a sudden Kingston now has to recover this round. It feels like does have from the shadows, and somehow Saint has found their way through the site. Ironically, this clutch does feel workable,
but they know that Saint is towards his B side, and you can see that Crispy's like, hey, this jet can be anywhere in our spawn. And with Kingston going down, this round is just so difficult, especially with the no brain usage there in this round for LLE.
Yeah, it's going to be match point here for the side of PANDASQTS, unless we see something absolutely absurd from Saint and borderline impossible, barring a massive throw from the defenders. Does manage to get 1 kill, can't get the second. And it's match point here for Pandas.
Yeah, I was going to say, unless the towers follow there, that is almost impossible. Sorry, I want to do a pun. What is LLE doing? Like, did their brains turn off? They used the lockdown to go on to B site, and then Dezo with the bomb is like, hey, look, there's people mid. Let's go fight them 1-on-2. And then calls over the rest of the team. They all die, and they just completely throw a unnecessary round that should have never really been lost. They should have had a freebie site. It was completely given, as we saw from Saint actually pushing through spawn. So we'll see what they decide to do here. We see a no command come out, and B site looked to be the advantage, but I don't know at this point.
And it's a weak buy as well, a bit scattered from these attackers. Well, pretty much just the stinger, but it actually manages to work perfectly fine as Crispy goes down in the back of the site. Kharkiv manages to get the opening kill of this round. Insane is set up in a great crossfire with their teammate here as Pandas are walking into a blender. Reshmonger manages to get one of these kills, but still has so much more to deal with. Does manage to double up here. Dezo goes down, and let's see, will you be accounted for in long? Yes, you will, but still manage to just win the fight against Reshmonger. And it's 10-2. This comeback still isn't dead yet.
It may not be dead, but the decision making is still poor from these teams. They keep taking these bad one-on-ones. They keep going for these random hero plays that make it look like there's 5 D-Blues on this team. They just need to figure out, they need to talk to each other.
What a drive-by. What the... He's not even in chat. Why you gotta do him like that?
Oh, hey, if no one knows, you know, that I can say the funny that... Oh, wait, Steph's in the chat. Hi, Steph. I think I'm funny, okay?
I don't think Steph's here though.
Oh, I just checked the viewer thing, so she could just be lurking. Who knows?
Oh, okay.
Either way, Kharkiv.
Let it go on record. I did not say that, Steph. Please don't fire me.
Oh, look at this aggression here from Riddle. Has such a good opportunity with the Sheriff, but we'll have to fall back.
And V-Riddle caught out by Kharkiv. We call that the D-Blue updraft special. As the attackers are just gonna kill through.
Alright, now we're both fired.
Yeah. Alright, back to free agents. Kingston doubles up. I mean, yeah, so like I said, this comeback is still on and we're still waffling about as this is looking like a round converted for the attackers. Surely there should be no way in this for Crispy, and we're going all of regulation once again, Rotes.
I mean, the bomb is planted on B and Crispy is on A, so I mean, finds Kingston, whoop-de-doo, you're not going to make it there in time.
I will say this, at this point, I feel like Crispy should throw away their life to get as many kills as they can to try and farm up that Hunter's Fury.
I mean, that would be probably the smart decision, especially since they will be buying into next round. There's no point of saving.
There it is.
And with
as long as they die. As long as they die, they have the Hunter's Fury here for the next round, which can be huge, especially considering that the lockdown is also available to the defenders. Yep, there it is. So Crispy gets pretty much everything you would want out of that round.
Yeah, and now they have a lockdown and the Hunter's Fury, like you mentioned, so huge. And now I need to hear you say your beautiful catchphrase that you always say when we go 24 rounds.
Going all of regulations?
Yeah! I don't know I want to hear that, but
I said that earlier.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, man.
I just like to hear it twice, you know? It makes me feel better.
You never listen to me anymore.